Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning to our honorable speaker and participants. Welcome to the CAM 2024 workshop organized by Academic Training Unit. Thank you for joining our workshop entitled Enhancing Student Engagement and Resilience Through Blended Learning in Higher Education. For your information, our workshop will start at 10 until 12 p.m. And I hope that you are scanned your QR attendance already. If not yet, we will display the QR attendance toward the end of the bengkel. Okay. So I think I would like to introduce our honorable speaker for today's session, Dr. Azra. We would like to show the slide introduction to our speaker for today. While waiting, I would like to introduce our honorable speaker for today's session, Dr. Nurul Izzailah Alias. She is a senior lecturer at the Faculty of Electrical Engineering from University Technology Malaysia since 2014. Okay, she received her Bachelor Engineering with honors degree in Electronics Engineering from University Technology Mara, Malaysia, 2007. Master of Engineering degree in Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering from University Technology Malaysia in 2010. She has then received her PhD degree in Electrical Engineering Information System from the University of Tokyo 2014. She now held positions related to teaching and learning from 2019 to 2021. She served as the head of the Future Ready Educator, or the short name is FREE group for the Faculty of Electrical Engineering. She has established several sub-communities within Faculty of Electrical Engineering to create a creative and innovative learning environment while incorporating engineering elements in line with the developments of Industry 4.0 technology. She has actively participated in various teaching and learning activities, as evident by winning more than 10 awards and publishing several research papers in teaching and learning conferences and symposiums from 2017 to present. She has received the Teaching Excellence Award twice at the Faculty of Engineering UTM Excellence Awards in 2019 and 2020. Recently, she received the Teaching Excellence Award Engineering category at the UTM Citra Charisma 2023. So without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Nurul to start her sharing. So
Thank you.
attention to participants. Before that, attention to participants. If you have any query, I think you can show the emoticon of the raise your hand, and then you can interrupt in between of the Dr. Nurul's slot. So without further ado, I would like to pass to Dr. Nurul to start the session for today. Over to you, Dr. Nurul.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Nur Mazlina. I guess that's you, right? That's your name. Okay, thank you very much for the brief introduction. So my name is Nurul Izzailah Alias. Allow me to share my screen. Okay, so can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Full. Okay, thank you very much, Doctor. Okay, first of all, I would like to thank a lot to CALM, Center of Applied Learning and Multimedia, UNIMAS. So I was invited by Associate Professor Dr. Dayang Azra. I think she's here. Okay, thank you very much for inviting me. I will be presenting and sharing a bit, okay, on the blended learning. Okay, the title for today, Enhancing Student Engagement and Resilience Through Blended Learning. So first of all, I would like to highlight that I am majoring in research. Therefore, teaching and learning is my second major. However, teaching and learning, teaching is my passion. Okay, so therefore, all those awards related to the teaching is actually goes because of my passion and passionate in to improve my teaching, from conventional to blended learning and active learning and cooperative learning. So if you ask me about the theoretical regarding education and philosophy, that would be beyond my area. Okay, so today I'll sharing the enhancing student engagement and resilience through blended learning in higher education. So this is the outline for the workshop of my talk today. First of all, I would like to introduce the motivation of why we need to introduce blended learning, active learning, cooperative learning in our teaching, TNL. Okay, so the importance of resilience. So we are developing a Gen Z graduates. So rather than they are scrolling phone because of the social media, so why not we actually embed a little bit the technology literate from them in classroom. So why we are building a curriculum different from the traditional method of teaching, so they will apply in the classroom, okay, in order to build a resilient student as well as the resilient graduates. Okay, so what is blended learning? I guess that is also centered already. I guess UNIMAS lecturers known already. Okay, so how do we relate this blended learning in classroom in producing a resilient students and graduates? Okay, so how do we elevate the student engagement? Okay, we are preparing this and this and this in the classroom. We are expecting them to engage with us between the lecturer and the student. So how to elevate their engagement? So I'll be sharing my experience in classroom with all of you here to increase the engagement, okay, between the student and the lecturer. It's not like the student come to the class and then they listen to the lecturer and then they go back. Okay, so actually without communicating with their peer and also without communicating with us in front of the class. So this is like very norm during our study. It's okay. So now we are focusing, we are facing a Gen Z students, okay, Gen Z students. So now we want to cope their engagement. Okay, so I'll be sharing also on the class lesson plan for 1 hour class and 2 hour class. How can we make this 1 hour and 2 hour class become an active classroom? Finally, I will summarize my sharing. All right. So before I begin with the sharing on the resilience and also student engagement, so this is a little bit on the motivation, okay, of why is blended learning important. So from the Malaysia Education Blueprint and also the National E-Learning Policy, okay, so e-pembelajaran, e-learning and the gadgets, okay, must be applied in the classroom. Okay, so in all universities in IPTA, IPTS, so they have their own platform of the e-learning. Okay, so we have to make use of it as much as possible instead of just giving the lecture in the classroom. So there are actually in the policy there are 3 related elements, okay, to today's talk. Okay, first is on the holistic and entrepreneurial balanced graduates. So how do we make sure that this the curriculum that we build, okay, for our graduates can produce a balanced graduate as in a resilience graduate? Okay, so it's from a very small part, okay, in the classroom to the bigger part of the overall program. Okay, and also the lifelong learners. So number 3, so how do we encourage students to enhance understanding through peer teaching? Okay, so instead of they listen conventionally to our lecture, so how we can make sure we are developing a graduate that they can teach their friend. They understand, they teach their friend. It's like a peer teaching. Okay, so finally, number 9 is globalized online learning. Of course, in the classroom, rather than using the e-learning that are provided by our institutes, okay, why not we embed a little bit on other platform, okay, in the classroom to make the class become more active, more engaging, and more fun learning. Right. So educational principle and theory, we may relate this also with the how people learn. Okay, so how people learn, there are many principle and theory. So the lecture based, what we used to during our study. Okay, so it's like we go into the class and then the lecture give a lecture, we listen to the lecture, that's it. Okay, so and then the skill based, inquiry based, individual versus group, and technology enhanced. Today, I would like to highlight the two principle, okay, which is the individual versus group, and technology enhanced. Okay, so so how we may actually apply this technology enhanced. So for example, there are many tools now available. Okay, so like Kahoot, Padlet, Quizy, Socrative, Edpuzzle. So those actually we can embed in our classroom. Okay, to make use and to actually cope with the Gen Z students right now. Okay, so individual and group. Okay, instead of in order to make it the class more fun, active learning. Okay, so active learning is a two-way learning, okay, between the lecturer and also the students. Okay, in a 1 hour class, in a 2 hour class, we can make the class become active learning. It's either by individually or the group. Okay, it depends on how long of our class, 1 hour or 2 hour. Okay, so I'll be sharing with all of you later it's what I have applied in my class. Okay, so right. So before that, okay, so the evolving of higher education landscape right now. So the changing landscape of higher education right now. So we are transforming from general curriculum. So now the faculty faces the future. So for example, now we have no longer conventional curriculum, lecture, and then final exams. So faculty faces the future. So we are developing a future ready educator. Thus we ready to be a different educator. I mean, not conventional educator. So this changing landscape of education that we have to face in as an educator. Okay, changing traditional student like us, a millennial. So maybe we can accept with the just one way lecture. So now we are facing from traditional to Gen Z student. Okay, so they are more technology literate, more computer literate. So how do we cope with this? Okay, so we use their advantage on technology literate and computer literate in our classroom. Okay, so re-evaluation of middle skills. So rather than producing a graduate with just a theoretically good on paper, so they are have a enhanced skills rather than that. Okay, and other than that, the challenge, okay, of course, the challenge, one of it is the access internet, the affordability, okay, is remain concern now. Okay, not all students have the reliable internet access. Not all classroom has the reliable internet access. I understand, as well as in UTM. Okay, so how do we cope this? How we actually face this what we call it as the concern lah. Okay, concern. Okay, and additionally, to shift this digital learning, okay, is we require faculty, okay, to adapt with this changing and to provide as good as possible in terms of the access, the internet, and so on. Okay, so why resilience is important? Okay, so we are producing a CGPA 4.0 student. Is it just on paper? They are good in education. Okay, so we are developing a resilient student and resilient graduates. Okay, so resilience and academic motivation have a positive impact on self-directed learning. So self-directed learning is where we a little bit by bit, okay, in our curriculum, okay, we actually introduce to the student to learn by themselves a bit before they come to the class. Okay, so this actually encourage them to be more responsible, okay, what they will learn in the classroom. Okay, so maybe we give a little bit of instruction to them. Okay, before you come to the class, okay, I expect you to read the materials that I have provided. Okay, so before we start the class, I will ask you to write on a paper. So what you have learned on yourself, okay, by yourself, okay, before I give the lecture. Okay, so this is a little bit by bit to actually develop responsible and also building resilience of the students. Okay, it helps people and community people, the student itself, okay, to thrive in the face of adversity. Okay, any changing, they were ready to adapt, they ready and adapt with the changes. Okay, so the ability to withstand, address and adapt the misfortune. So for example, if one student who faces with stress, burden in study, I think not only in UTM, so depressed seems like to be a common word by the students. Okay, so why the student feel depressed because of I don't know, they maybe have a difficulty to like one of the student here have difficulty to mingle with the friends in the college, so they feel depressed. Okay, so how we can cater this kind of attitude, these students, is actually in the classroom itself. Okay, we try them to peer teaching. Okay, we try to help them to communicate, to mingle with the students, with other students, and by peer teaching. Okay, student learns also if they have a little bit of resilience. Okay, so they learn how to handle hurdles, stress. Okay, so this is actually a good skills that they will bring when they go out as a employee. Okay, so they may be a good graduates, okay, with a good CGPA on a transcript. However, does they ready to go work as an employee and to make a teamwork? So this kind of skills that we need to actually embed in our classroom. All right, so blended learning, okay, I believe that CALM has a lot of workshop activities on what is blended learning, okay, and I believe that UNIMAS lecturer also have applied blended learning in this classroom. Okay, so I'll be sharing some of it, okay, what I have applied in my class. Okay, so blended learning combines face-to-face and online activities. Okay, so online activities could be, there are many platforms, okay, we have available, okay, freely online. Okay, so in a seamlessly way of learning. Okay, so this blended learning could be a flipped classroom. Okay, so what is flipped classroom? So flipped classroom is not a conventional teaching, traditional teaching one to the student. Is actually takes the student has its own small responsibility before they come to the class. Okay, and also we encourage student, so student also have their role. Okay, not just for their individually come to the class, okay, without talking to their friends, okay, just listen to the lecture. No, the student has its role, okay, to hear, to actually teach their friend. Okay, or maybe a role before they come to the class, they have responsibility to read before they come to the class, actually to glance through the material that have provided by the lecturer to the class. Okay, so we also encourage students to manage, okay, how they manage their time. Okay, I need to cope, like I need to spend at least 10 to 20 minutes, okay, of my time, okay, to learn first, at least to search, to Google what will be the next topic in the class. Okay, it is also flexible. Okay, so student, if we provide the instruction earlier before the class, so they can manage their time, okay, where they want to study this topic. Okay, in terms of effectiveness, okay, to ensure the learners time well spent. Okay, so how do we make sure the class 1 hour class is well spent? How do we make sure the 2 hours class is well spent if we do blended learning in classroom? Okay, so we need to plan. Okay, so I'll be sharing a little bit of what I have done. Okay, the planning. Okay, so I think the key success of blended learning or active learning or cooperative learning in the classroom is how we manage our time. Right, so this is just a bit on the statistic of blended learning. Okay, so with a short form lesson online, the student engagement rise, okay, from 15% to 90%. Okay, this is I got from the blended learning education 3.0, okay, which is available in the ViewSonic library. Okay, and 81%, 81% of students feel that online learning improved performance. Okay, so this is actually we are not alone. This is not only in IPTA, IPTS in Malaysia. It is a worldwide. Okay, about when we are talking about blended learning in the classroom, not only so in the school, but also in higher education. Right, so these are the some of educational and teaching and learning technology tools. Okay, so these are just some of example that I have familiar with, but there are actually a lot than this. Okay, so in terms of quiz, we have Socrative, Quizzes, Kahoot, interactive video lesson, we have Edpuzzle, MOOC. And then formative assessment tools, we have Formative, Padlet, Google Form, Jamboard, and so on, so on, so on. There's a lot. Okay, so we just need to use one or two of it, embed in the classroom, okay, to make it more interactive and fun learning. Okay, so I actually have tried all, okay, in the classroom, and surprisingly, with this Gen Z student, they are well adept with all the technologies. They are more advanced than myself, actually. So if I introduce to them Socrative, oh, doctor, this Socrative can use, we can actually do this and that. They are more advanced than us. Okay, so for me, it's worth of trying. Okay, to apply these tools, and also to do blended learning in the classroom, active learning in the classroom. Actually, we were surprised that they actually appreciate our effort. Right, so I will go to this question later towards the end of my talk, I think, because it involved with using quizzes. Okay, all right, so the percentage of users that use this technology in classroom worldwide, okay, this is actually not us. Okay, maybe Malaysia just a bit by bit will use these platforms, but worldwide, Socrative nearly 3 million users worldwide. Okay, Edpuzzle 1 million customers, Kahoot, but Edpuzzle actually I've used this is we can use for free, but it can actually cope lecture, and then in between lecture we can embed a quiz. Okay, so it is a good platform. Okay, also, and Kahoot, 9 billion participant, Quizzes, 65 million active users. So this is not only us, the challenge for us to use this technology, it is actually worldwide, has been widely used. Okay, all these platforms. All right, how do we elevate student engagement? Okay, so what are the strategies, okay, to boost student engagement? Okay, so we need this student actively participate in the classroom. Okay, we need to engage, okay, between the students and the lecturer. Why? Because we are developing a resilient graduates, students. Okay, so how to elevate? Okay, so we create a positive learning environment. Okay, so how do we create this positive learning environment? We, as an educator, we have to show example to them. Okay, so we have provide this plan. Okay, this plan. Okay, I plan to do this and that with you. This is the timing for our next class. Okay, so please, before you come to the class, I will be using Socrative, for example. Okay, please at least sign up. Okay, so we are creating this positive learning environment, and they see our effort. Okay, so they will also put the effort. Okay, so active learning. Okay, so active learning is we encourage hands-on, okay, interactive learning activities. For example, we are using those blended learning platforms, okay, and maybe we can bring some hands-on activity in the classroom. Okay, later I'll show this. Maybe hands-on activity in the classroom require 2 hours lecture. If you have 1 hour, it's very compact to plan for active learning activities, but 2 hours is just nice for active learning in the classroom. Okay, so for example, the hands-on maybe consists of problem solving, exercise, and so on. So they have the responsibility to be part of they have their role in students have their role in the classroom. Okay, so we incorporate technology. Okay, like I have shown you previously. So there are many platforms. Okay, variety of instructions. Okay. So we mix up our teaching method. Okay, it's not like in one whole semester we have to do active learning, cooperative learning in the classroom. No. So there are some classes that we have to focus on the lecture only, and there are some class that we can do active learning activities in the classroom. Okay, so variety of teaching and learning method actually makes it more interactive. We engage with the student, at least we increase the engagement, okay, with the student, and also to make the fun learning. Okay, so discussion is important. Okay, what we do indirectly, we do active learning in the classroom. Actually, we are discussing on certain topic with the students. Okay, we can hear their ideas, their answers. Okay, so how do we make sure the student open their mouth? Okay, so later I'll share how at least I have tried, and of course we cannot change the individual behavior. However, there are some method that I have applied in the classroom to make sure the student open their mouth. Okay, set clear goals, expectation. Okay, so these are from where? So these are actually from the course information. Okay, so in our course information, so we already put there week 1 what topic, week 2 what topic, and then across these weeks we actually already plan, okay, what will be the activity according to the week. Okay, so maybe not all weeks, maybe some weeks we want to do activities on the certain topics that we think, okay, it's good to do active learning activities on that particular topic. So it is a contract between us and the student. Okay, so I usually show to the student this is the course information. Okay, so week 1, week 2 until week 15. So these several weeks I will do the active learning. So these several weeks we will do a pop quiz in the class. So they on the first day of class I already mentioned all these things. So this is a contract between me and you. So I hope that we will cope. So indirectly we are actually let the student ready mindset. Okay, okay, so this class I cannot be like as a Sleeping Beauty. I always say them, I don't want a Sleeping Beauty in my classroom. Okay, I want a you have to be participated on certain activities. Okay, so demonstrate enthusiasm. Okay, this is from us. Okay, peer teaching. So if they understand well, they able to explain or teach their peer. Okay, and promote critical thinking. All right, so traditional classroom, okay, maybe during our time, okay, so the traditional classroom, the lecturer, and we listen to the lecture. It's not like, it's not good, okay, we are here now, so maybe it is actually effective for us, okay. However, we are changing, okay, from the traditional classroom to the flipped classroom, okay. So the flipped classroom, teacher is a mentor or facilitator or instructor. Okay, it's not like teach, they listen. No, we instruct, we give them instruction. Okay, we facilitate. Okay, we become their facilitator if we do hands-on project or hands-on activity in the classroom. Okay, so we expect this. Okay, so this why? Because we are changing. Hello, okay, can you see my screen or?
I think someone cross sharing your okay, now okay.
Okay, okay, all
All
right.
right.
full screen, right, Doctor?
Yes, full screen.
All right. Okay, thank you. Okay, so for the flipped classroom, what is flipped classroom? So when flipped classroom is when we before they come to the class, we instruct them, we give instruction to them. So this is what you need to do before you come to the class. And then during the class, okay, so they will practice, we give some instruction. There are many active learning activities that we can do in the classroom, okay, and after class, okay, so they check their understanding. So this is actually happened during the wrap up, okay, the wrap up time. All right, so so this actually require time, okay, time. Okay, so how do we make sure that the student use the time? Okay, I always say you don't need 1 hour to review on yourself. You just need 10 minutes if it is a quality time. Okay, 10 minutes to glance through. At least you have the idea, the keywords. Okay, before you come to the class. Okay, so right, so learning and teaching activities like student learning time. Okay, so this is just a crop of the what we call as a course information. Okay, I believe that all university has this. Okay, in the course information we listed out the course learning outcomes, and then the mapping to PLO, and then the assessment and so on. Okay, so we have like how many hours, like for example, if 3 credit, we have 120 hours. Okay, so this, okay, so and the student learning time is we have lecture and so on. I believe that all university have this. Okay, so we also have the portion of the non-face-to-face independent learning. Okay, so and we put hours also in this column. Okay, so besides assignment, quiz, lecture, test, examination, so how do we make sure our student fully utilize this non-face-to-face independent learning? So we have to make use of this learning time, which is they individually, okay, have to use this time, okay, to study on their own. Okay, so actually this we can actually use this non-face-to-face independent learning in the classroom before they come to the class, this part in the flipped classroom. Okay, so let me show you the example. Okay, so this is one of example for class lesson plan, okay, that I have applied. I think if I have applied so many times, it's just like the same method applied many times to different topics. Okay, so this was the class lesson plan 1 hour flipped classroom. Okay, so class lesson for course my course semiconductor device engineering. Okay, so this also applied during the teaching observation, okay, for winning the recently teaching award from UTM. All right, so this is the plan for 1 hour. Okay, so usually I will give this planning, okay, to the student. Okay, so next week I will do the active learning activities in the classroom. So the topic is, for example, MOSFET. Okay, so this is the planning in the classroom. So I have to follow this timing. Okay, make sure when you come to the class, you're ready mentally and physically. No sleeping beauty in the classroom. I hope that you, from 24 hours of your time, please involve 1 hour in my class time. Can you do that? So they usually can. Okay, so especially this for 4th year student, they matured enough to actually participate in the classroom. Okay, so this is what I said. Okay, reading material will be shared with the student before class. Okay, so this is actually we can cope this non-face-to-face independent learning. So we put 2 hours, 2 hours, and so on. So actually, they not use 2 hours put. They usually use like 10 to 20 minutes, okay, to at least have the idea. Okay, so first 5 minutes, okay, I will review from the previous lesson. Usually, first 5 minutes, I will actually wrap up on, actually review a little bit what we have done in the previous class, okay, and then since they have read before come to the class and get some idea, I will ask them to take a piece of paper. Okay, if it is not online class, if it is physical class, take a piece of paper. Okay, if it's online class, maybe we can do any platform like Jamboard, a Padlet, anything. Okay, so student write down on a piece of paper what they understand on the reading material. Okay, before this is not yet we give the lecture. We just want to know the overall, the idea, okay, from what they read themselves. Okay, if an excellent student, they can write really well. Okay, for those average student, they can write. Okay, they can write. However, how we improve the understanding is by giving the lecture. Okay. Right, so the lecture part 1, okay, about 20 minutes, okay, and then after the lecture, usually I will ask them to compare, okay, what they have written, and maybe they can compare, or maybe they add up some information after the lecture, okay. To test the understanding, we can have a short quiz, okay, for example, very short quiz related to the topics, the simple multiple choice question and CQ question, it doesn't matter. Okay, any platform can be used. Okay, previously we can use many Kahoot, Socrative, lots. Okay, for this class, I use, which is I developed myself, Semicon Q app, semiconductor app. Okay, this is just for my students. Okay. And then after that, I give another lecture for the part 2, and then we continue on the short quiz to test the understanding. Okay, so actually, with this planning, I already gave to them. Okay, so quiz, okay, a pop quiz in the class. Okay, I don't want to be the one who don't like daydreaming, know nothing. Okay, just a student, actually indirectly they be responsible to learn a little bit and be responsible to focus in the class. Just 1 hour, okay, and then there will be quiz. So some of the students, I think most of the students are competitive. Okay, if we actually encourage this competitive environment in the classroom. Okay, so. And finally, closure. So to me, in any class, we have to put closure. Okay, if you are rushing, 5 minute closure is okay. Okay, to our class is better. Actually, you can have more time to wrap up. All right, so this is the just a sharing, okay, Semiconductor Q app. So this is I developed myself. Okay, so I used it is okay to use any platform. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay, there are many various platform. Okay, so for this app, I have developed all features from announcement, topics, note, video, quiz, rank. Okay, rank is actually after they answer quiz, we will see the ranking. Okay, so finally, in any active learning activities, maybe some, okay, which I think like it is interesting, okay, to know their reflection. Okay, student, I said just a simple question. Okay, please give reflection of today's class. I would like to hear from you. Okay, do you feel stressed? Do you feel burdened? I would like to hear from you. I don't want you to feel stress or burden in my classroom. Okay, so they will share their reflection. Okay, this is actually I have extracted out from this part, okay, to this. Okay, so 1 hour flip classroom. So for 5 minutes, I will review on the previous topic. 5 minutes, I will ask the student to write down, okay, what they understand from the reading materials. Okay, so this is what they write down before class. I mean, the first 5 minutes, just a very basic and surface. Okay, and then we give lecture for the part 1. Okay, about 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, and then we'll see. I ask them to write again. Okay, we'll see what is the difference between before you listen to the lecture and after you listen to the lecture. Surprisingly, before listen to the lecture, they actually can summarize this. Okay, and so after they listen to the lecture, they can summarize more. Okay, in my class, fourth year students, since they have faced online learning, so all of them has tablet. Okay, so they jot down notes on their tablet. So they are very technology literate. So their tablet sometimes advanced than me. Okay, so they write down additional notes after the lecture. So from what I see, oh, okay. So at least before lecture, they have the surface idea, and then after the lecture, it grabs more idea, and actually the understanding become more solid. All right. So and then 5 minutes I give okay, to test your understanding. Why not we do some fun quiz? So I always say fun quiz because it's a simple quiz actually. Okay. So if you do if you like cannot answer means you are not here, I said. Okay. So it's like very simple quiz. Okay. So to actually make in between lecture, to make it more fun, put some pop quiz in between it. Okay, so and then after that part 2, and then quiz in bit after that, and then finally I closure and wrap up. So usually I discuss on the pop quiz answer. Okay. All right. So seems like this timeline, okay, looks like stress lah. Okay, so it's all about managing time actually. Okay, to make the active learnings activities in the classroom become successful, we need to have a well plan. Okay, so for the first time, second time, it may be difficult, but if we already simulate it so many times in the classroom, it's like you replicating the same thing, same timing, but different topics. Okay, so may look like stress. I always hello.
May I interrupt?
Yeah, yeah.
Can I ask you the question? For
Yeah, sure.
this lesson plan, lesson plan is actually for the whole class, for one class, right?
Yes, correct.
How many hours of this class?
1 hour class.
1 hour classes.
Yes,
So
yes.
each of classes you are making this type of lesson plan, isn't it?
No.
Not really.
Actually, like I said, to do every time class active learning is impossible also. Okay,
Okay.
some of the topic that I think may need active learning activities, I will do active learning activity. But some maybe just lecture and then discussion, not this kind of method. Just normal
And then,
lecture.
okay, all right. Now I
Mhm.
understand. And then
Alright.
for the can we go to the next slide?
Yeah,
Another slide.
this
The
one.
next one. Yes, this one.
This
Okay,
one.
so how you get the feedback from the student? Because just now you mentioned that you know before the student enter to your class, they already make some notes on
Yeah.
their tablets. Okay, how you get to know this type of activity that done by the student? Because you can make a comparison before and after you
Correct,
giving
correct.
lecture to them, right? So how you get to know on these particular things?
Okay. So maybe misunderstood just now. So this is not being written before they come to the class. So before they come to the class, they read themselves the material that I have provided to them. So maybe they read the lecture material, and sometimes I give additional materials to the students. So they read. Okay, so it's up to the student if they want to do a short notes based on the reading material. But some excellent student, they don't have to put a short note. Okay, sometimes they can grasp, they can memorize. Okay, so the first 5 minutes of the class, I will ask them to take out a piece of paper, or if you have tablet, a blank of space, okay, and write down, okay, what you have read, okay, before you come to the class. So this is actually happens in the classroom for the first 5 minutes.
Okay, doctor, there is adding question from my question from Mr.
Right.
Chokiman. How do you deal with those who didn't prepare? Because just
Ah,
now you mentioned about those who are
correct,
prepared, but right
correct.
now if they are not prepared, so how is it? How you deal with this kind of
Yeah,
students?
yeah, yeah. Of course, right? Of course. So that is our challenge actually. My challenge and our challenge. Okay. So we out of like 30 students, maybe there are one or two that like what we call it um kita panggil apa not really into the class. They just want to pass. They don't want to excel. Okay, so there are some students like that. Okay, however, so that's why I said there will be a quiz. Okay, so it's either you want to you can answer or not. It's on you. You have to be prepared. Okay, I don't ask you more, just 1 hour class to participate. Okay, so I just need 1 hour of your concentration, 1 hour of your responsibility in the class to make sure that you are participating, and also it is for yourself. Okay, so if you can answer those quiz question, it is for yourself, not for me. So that's how I told them. And sometimes, these quizzes also, I said sometimes I give assessment, so they will be more serious. Okay, so usually if to make sure that this not lazy, I mean to this challenge student too. So how to make sure, we have to say that there will be an assessment, maybe two from the two quiz. I will take one quiz as an assessment. So that kind of will actually attract their attention. So usually it works sometimes.
So
Right.
means as an instructor, we have to provide clear instruction before they
Correct.
enter to the class. Means we have to highlight to them that they have to make a preparation before they coming to the class, right, Doctor?
Correct, doctor. Correct. Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Chua adding on this, Dr. Izala, indeed,
Mhm.
and student motivation is at time beyond our control. Yes.
Correct.
Right.
Betul.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Thank you for the question.
All
Uh,
right. Thank you,
yes, thank you.
Doctor.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let me continue. Okay. So, like the question from the two doctors just now, I'm also concerned. Okay, about their some challenge student. Okay. So these challenge students sometimes give concern to us, and sometimes depressed seems like so easy word for the students right now. Depressed. So it is a heavy word, but simply said by the student. Okay. So this kind of activities actually makes me worry. Okay, do I stress them? Okay, I always say I teach. I teach a teacher, however, I care like a mother. So I always tell them like that. Okay, so we need their reflection actually. Okay, so so these are some of the questions that I ask them. Okay, so whether about that particular app, and also about the effectiveness learning. Okay, whether this learning. So usually, if we ask the student to write down, they will feel lazy. So we just put like this. Okay, like multiple choice question, easily they will give their response. Okay, so the effectiveness of learning. Okay, so the quick assessment, I mean the quiz, do you think it's good? The active learning, do you think it's they agree or not? So this kind of a question, this question may be subjective. Okay, so for me, I would choose like very simple questions, but I get their information. Okay, so does this engagement, so do they feel they engage with me, they engage with their friends? So I want to know this. Okay, so these are their feedback. So surprisingly, they said very like majority feel effective. Okay, effective, and strongly agree effective, and then agree. Okay, so this like neither agree nor disagree. So this is the challenge student just now. Okay, so neither agree, disagree. I'm not sure which part of you. So these are confused student. Okay, so we cannot avoid this. It happens in many classes. Okay, so for the engagement and engagement, so do they feel engaged with me? So I want to increase the engagement. So what do they feel? Okay, so the interactive. So they feel, most of them agree. So they feel engaged rather than they just sit in the class, listen to the lecture. They feel engaged between myself, and also his or her friends in the class. Okay. All right. So the feedback. Okay. So do they feel because so this is just additional. My app I put rank. Okay. So who can answer fast and correct? So they will be the highest rank. So do they feel stressed or not okay with the rank? So most of them feel like 95% strongly agree, means this particular student is very competitive lah. Okay, so like I said, it depends. Okay, for fourth year class, they are maturely ready. Okay, so they matured enough, okay, to face these activities in the classroom. All right. So there are two different methods actually. Okay, if you have, I personally I like 2 hours class. Okay, if I want to do active learning, I prefer 2 hours class. Why? I have plenty of time. It's not like very rushing. If you look at the 1 hour timeline just now, quite rushing. Okay, however, if we already told them to be prepared, so they mentally prepared and physically prepared, but 2 hour more laid back, and more topic can be covered and more activity can be done. So this is the difference, okay, of 1 hour class and 2 hour class. So both student has their own responsibility, has their own roles. Okay, so indirectly we are developing resilient students. Okay, and also they feel engaged with us. So that is more important. Okay, so 1 hour class. Hello. Hello.
Tak ada apa-apa, tak apa, Doktor. Teruskan
Alright.
je.
Okay. So individual for 1 hour we can do individual activity like put in a piece of paper, write down what you understand. Okay, and then for the short quiz also individually they answer, but 2 hours class we can do in group, a pair between students. Okay, 3 of the student if the class big, so maybe 3 in a group, so this is more fun. Okay, 1 hour we can use less technology, maybe one only technology can be used. Okay, one platform, but for 2 hours we can use more, 2 or 3 technology can be used. Or if the class require simulation, that is good. I always love to do simulation, hands-on activities in the classroom, like they run simulation, that kind of activities in the classroom, it would be more fun. Okay. So again, okay, so this non-face-to-face independent learning, okay, time, okay, in the SLT just now, used when they have to read themselves. Okay, so this is for 2 hours class lesson plan. Okay, so long. However, we have more time to breathe. Okay, we have more time to cater with the chaos in the class. Okay, so yeah, but it is fun actually. Okay, so
Dr. Nurul, sorry to interject you again.
yes, yeah, no problem.
There is a question, Doctor, from Dr. Dayang Khairunisa. She said that, I'm sorry, Doctor, I want to ask something regarding semiconductor apps. Maybe
Okay.
Doktor dah explain, takut saya tak dengar. Is the apps developed by the instructors? Is it linked to the LMS system in UTM, or is it standalone apps?
Okay, all right. Thank you, Dr. Dayang, for the question. So Semicon Q app is owned by myself. So I developed it from scratch by myself, only for my students. Okay, but there are some other lecturers also who teach the same subject, use the app also. Okay, it is not linked with the LMS. It is standalone app. Just my app to my class only. So, but to answer that, maybe you're concerned about the e-learning kan. So actually, I'm doing a double job lah. So e-learning update because I want the blended learning certificate, and app also just between me and the students.
Thank you, Doctor.
Am I okay? All right. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Dayang. Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, so this is 2 hours class. Okay, so 2 hour class, usually we have more time. Okay, so introduction on the overview. So at first we share the material to the students and student read themselves. And then we give introduction, okay, overview to the student on the topics. Okay. And then after that, for 2 hours, usually I can do peer teaching. Like we can do 1 minute paper, 2 minute paper, okay. Okay, 1 minute paper, 2 minute paper, or they can, if 2 hours, we can do in group or maybe pair. Okay, so student A, please discuss with student next to you, and student next to student B discuss on what you have read from the material. Okay, so we give in a group. Okay, since we have 2 hours, we have more time, give like 15 to 20 minutes. So they discuss, okay? So write in a piece of paper. If you have tablet, you can write also. So they discuss together. So this is more effective because when 2% understanding combined, there will be more. So I prefer 2 hours class, okay, instead of because 1 hour just individually, 2 hours they can write like 2 or 3 students, okay, write in a piece of paper or in a tablet. So usually they use tablet, okay, to write. So they can write a lot actually. So the input is from the 3 students, so they can write a lot. Okay, so and then I give lecture. So when I give lecture, actually they already have like 50% of the idea. Okay, so I give lecture, so the lecture become more smooth because they have more ideas already on what's on the certain topic. Okay, all right, and then I give a recap or pause, okay, in between the lecture, okay, to compare, okay, what this have more time, okay, compare what you have written in your group, 2 or 3 students after the lecture, so they add up more points after that. Okay, and then active learning. Okay, so like I said, so if this subtopic requires simulation, I really love that. Okay, but before that, we need to mention to the students, next class I will do some hands-on activity. So we will use, for example, Nano Hub app. So not Nano Hub platform. So I will give the link. So please make sure sign up, bring your laptop to the class. Is that okay? You have any problem with it? So those who cannot, please let me know. I will let them know earlier. So usually they don't have problem because not all clusters need to bring laptop, but some classes. Okay. So the challenge is one, internet. Okay, I have to book a class with a good internet connection. Okay, and also I have to book a class with a proper table and arrangement, class arrangement. Okay, so this more fine because after the lecture we hands on with the simulation activity. Okay. To see the performance, maybe, okay, different subject, different topic, okay. And then finally, of course, I always end up with the exit quiz, okay. Just a short quiz to the student, okay, multiple choice question. They feel very excited, okay, to answer the quiz, okay, to see the question and to answer. So they feel excited, okay, because we already encourage them, okay, to be ready. Okay, there will be quiz. One quiz ni they be happy lah instead of the 2 quiz just now. Okay, and then finally I wrap up closure. Okay, we have more time to close to make it solid. All the understanding between the lecture and the hands-on be more fun and more time to relax. More relaxed for 2 hours class for me lah, for myself. Okay. All right. So for 2 hours class, okay, sometimes I write, if I want evidence, okay, I will give a platform to them since they bring their laptop. So you can discuss among your team member and write on a Jamboard. Why not? Instead of just on your tablet for your copy, let's put it online so everybody can see it. Okay, so I use online, okay, Jamboard. So this is what they write on the Jamboard for group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4 before the lecture on the topic of very basic, okay, on the semiconductor. So I ask them to write, okay, and then I give lecture, okay. I give lecture about 20 minutes, and then they write again. They top up the idea from the lecture. So if you can see, after the lecture, there are more information added, okay, in their Jamboard, okay, for each group. Okay, so see, they are more advanced. If I were to use the Jamboard initially, my mind was like really dull like this, right? So, but the students, the Gen Z students, they are more advanced. Oh, doctor, we can use pen, we can take box, we can actually tag friend from the other group, things like that. Okay, so they are advanced. Okay, so this become more interesting. So this actually can be their short notes, okay, for their revision. So I said, so actually they use this for their own short notes. Okay, some other groups thinks that group one is good notes. So I said, yeah, you can use it as your short note because it's open. Jamboard is I open to all of you, so they can see from each group each group's wall. They can see it. Okay, right. For the simulation, any simulation can related to your subject, it doesn't matter. Okay, so and quiz also, I'll give quiz, and then whether they can answer or not, and then the rank. Okay, so they are very competitive also, so they really answer fast, and they can answer, but because usually the quiz is just like a very simple question, okay, just MCQ question. All right, so again, if I think that it is a good activity, I want to listen from them, their reflection, okay, not easy question and not difficult question, just an easy question. Why? Because I want to know in terms of the achievement, student feedback on understanding of the topic, so clearly understand. They say, although it is an active class, okay, I think in a grouping peer teaching, so they teach their peer, they become more understand. So they said that this kind of activity can clearly understand. Okay, so hands-on technology like simulation in the classroom, do they okay? So like 90% agree. The neutral, of course, I said of course there will be a student. So this neutral, if I don't know who, but some of them maybe because of the internet, so those things lah. Okay, so they complain about that. Okay, but we cannot cater all. However, at least 90% agreed and feel interesting. So as an educator, we are happy lah. We're happy. Okay, so that is this is indirect comment. Okay, indirect assessment, like all the knowledge, make me recap more deeply. Okay, so all our idea on Jamboard, so great chance for us to study with others. At least they have 3 person in a group, so this has this info points, that the other one add up another points, and so on. So most of them feel interesting, well understanding, but and so on, basically positive. Okay. This is direct assessment in terms of the KPI achievement. Okay, so this past 2 lecture was the conventional class. Okay, and then this is I took for the class that is active learning. So can see a very significant improvement in terms of the KPI achievement. We are so happy about it. Okay, and not directly, we are developing a responsible student. We can increase higher engagement, but directly we can actually increase the KPI, improve the KPI. Right, so these are the benefits of the active learning classroom. Okay, so outside class, okay, so we select content, select Ghibli method, create, provide content. So this outside class is actually we can already gain the lower cognitive level. Okay, so they get the information from the reading materials. Okay, so they try to glance through, at least read through. So from C1 to C2, actually they can get or grasp already the cognitive level. Okay, so in the class, okay, more assessment, more activities. So actually we can cope with higher cognitive level, like analyze, okay, maybe up to analyze, evaluate, okay, and after final exam, maybe they can evaluate, okay. So these are actually why I said that the class method, the active and active activity is actually relate to not only the student learning time, it also relate to the how we make sure they achieve the cognitive levels that we have set, okay, in the course information. All right, so this is also the next question, okay, later we'll go with that, okay, and the appendix, okay, so I just want to share these activities. I have become invited, okay, by the GPT for the virtual learning, okay, so I am officially the certified content creator, okay, by using the TNL's tools, okay, so for the asynchronous video using Edpuzzle, Quizzes, and Socrative. So, but without being official, also I think all of us has done this before, okay. All right, so apart from what I have done in the classroom activities and so on, I also try to participate in the competition, KTNL competition. Like I said, I am major in research, so teaching is my second major. However, teaching is my passion. So instead of just applying in the classroom, I try to learn, okay, from the other friends, okay, participate in the competition. So here it is, what we done in the class and participate in the competition and managed to win several awards, okay, from the activities that I have applied in the classroom and become competition. And then, so these are just sharing, okay. So the examples, I just want to show some examples of active learning activities. So Socrative for the quiz, okay, before I have my own app. So I use all this platform, really helps me, okay. So we have Socrative, we have quizzes, okay. So already with this, okay. And then Edpuzzle, okay. So Edpuzzle, I think most of you also familiar, but those who don't know, this really or we travel outstation, okay, so we can do this, okay, so we can record a lecture or any lecture that you have, okay, you can embed question in between the minutes, okay, like maybe you have part 1 of that topic, you want to embed put a question, okay, like a multiple choice question, so you can put like this. I have already recorded video and then I want to put question at this minute, and this minute, and so on. So the student have to follow this video and then they cannot skip. They have to follow and then they meet one question and then follow again the lecture and because until the end, okay. So we can see also the how the student perform, okay, so how they answer and do they have 100%, but some of them maybe 75%. So this we know lah, okay, whether the student has fulfilled 100% or not because they cannot skip. So Edpuzzle is a good online asynchronous video, I think. And then, like I said, if we have, I think everyone know Padlet. So sometimes when I do exercise, simulation, hands-on, so I want them to put their results, hands-on results. So I put in a tablet, Padlet, okay, Padlet, okay, so they put everything here. Why maybe Jamboard can, Padlet can, so I just want to diversify all platform, okay. So surprisingly, they can accept any platform because they are technology literate students. All right, so of course, give instruction is very important, okay, and then we plan for the rest, okay, and then other than that, Padlet, we have Trello. So I think Trello also interesting, okay. So Trello, you can invite the student, okay, you can give instruction, they can give comment, okay, we can reply the comment to the students, and they can attach and so on, okay. So yeah, so Trello, I'm no longer using Padlet because Padlet has limited access, like 3, but Trello no. All right. Okay, so these are some examples that I have shown just now. So finally, what is the impact of blended learning? Okay, um, um, in developing a resilient graduate in the real world. So we are actually creating more independent students, more independent graduates. Okay, so actually from the small thing in the classroom, okay, to the larger scale of the program outcome actually, okay. So used to self-learning, so they actually get used to self-learning, okay, direct self-learning, so they actually if they go work, okay, in the real world, okay, so the superior will give this task, okay, so they have to learn themselves also, okay, rather than they can ask people around senior, but they have to learn themselves also. So we are creating this norm, okay, so that they used to self-learning. Okay, so learning, we are creating a learning culture. So learning is not a necessity now. Okay, learning has become a culture actually. So self-learning has become, we have to create this culture. Okay, to actually they have the curiosity and they want to learn. Okay, and teamwork, okay, encourage them to share knowledge. Teamwork, okay, so like when you have to our class, we pair them with the team, and then at least bit by bit, okay, so they know how to work in a team. Okay, so last but not least, my reflection as educator, okay, for me, okay, well planned, okay, we have to be well planned, okay, so for the first, second time may be hard, but after that, it will be very simple. You are repeating the same method, but different topic, okay, so why we have to well plan accordingly, and we have to instruct them earlier so that they're ready mentally. Okay, so why also because we have to make sure when we simulate in the class, the execution become more smooth and according to the timing that we have set. Okay, clear instruction also important. Okay, clear instruction as in what they have to do before class and what they will expect will happen during the class and after the class. Okay, so time management. So manage well your time, okay, according to the class lesson. Like I said just now, we at the beginning we may always I always myself, okay, there's many lag, okay, during the execution, okay. However, it improved from time to time. Okay, so encouragement. So we encourage the student to participate, okay, to be ready. Okay, we need to initiate them. We need to initiate in the class, okay, in order to encourage them. Okay, so finally, engagement. Okay, so Alhamdulillah, okay, at least not 100%, but maybe 80 to 90% can increase the engagement, at least in my class. Okay, more engagement with the student, and when we have more engagement with the student, the relationship will become more. We have lifelong relationship with the student. Okay, last but not least, so embarking on a blended learning journey in the classroom may demand additional time. I have to admit this, okay, before the class. However, the effort on the initial planning, okay, the implementation stages, so it requires time, our time, okay. Yet the remarkable outcomes, okay, and the student satisfaction will make every moment invested truly worthwhile. So honestly, at the beginning, we need time to plan and everything. However, as we execute from semester to semester, it will become it's like a standard practice for us already. And the outcome, we actually our main satisfaction, not only us, the student also. So as a summary, okay, just a summary, okay, from the topics, from the sharing just now, okay, we need to understand the blended learning models, the active learning activity, so increase proficiency in blended learning, so effective integration of technology, so any technology or platform that we use in the classroom, okay, how do we design our class, the timing, okay, so assessment and feedback is also important. Okay, so student-centered approach, okay, they learn how to self-learning, okay, enhance class engagement between student and student, their peer teaching, and also between student and the lecture. So they adapt and finally become flexible, okay, improve student learning outcome and building a supportive learning community. So actually today's sharing or today's talk, thanks to Kam, okay, for inviting me. So actually we are here to build a supportive learning community on how to improve our teaching and learning styles nowadays. Thank you very much. I would like to say thank to everyone for listening. Okay, if you have any question, you can drop down the question. If you have any inquiries, you can email me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nurul, for the insightful and very informative information. Okay, so there is a question, Dr. Nurul, from Dr. Dayang just now. The continuous questions from the previous. She asked about, and all the materials uploaded to the apps, or is it uploaded in UTM LMS system?
All right. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Dayang. Is it the same Dr. Dayang who contacted me? Or
Yes.
different?
No, this is the different person.
Oh, okay. All
This is
right.
Dr.
Okay.
Dayang Khairunisa, not Dr. Dayang Azra.
All right. Okay. So Dr. Dayang, thank you for the question. Yes, like I said, yes, I actually use both platform. Okay, so because some of the assignments I still use UTM e-learning. Okay, so in order for us to gain the blended learning certificate, we have to fulfill all the requirement and use fully utilize all the basic like notes and everything. I will put slides. I will put in the on the e-learning. Okay. However, like additional material, I will upload on the apps, and also the slide also I upload on the apps. Okay, and some after the lecture, usually after the like topic 3 lecture, after the lecture in class, okay, so usually I will upload the recorded video that I have from the past during COVID time on my app. Okay, so for those who have difficulty to follow in the lecture in the classroom, so they can always refer from the recorded video. So yes, Dr. Dayang, I use both platform. Okay, but my students prefer with the app actually. So they said it's on their phone. Okay, so they can. When I send notification, they will get directly like a real time notification through the app. But I actually do twice work lah sebenarnya.
So means the apps that you use is become the supplementary from the
Yes.
lecture session that you did with your students, right, Dr. Nurul?
Correct,
Okay, another
correct.
question from Dr.
Mhm.
Nisa as well.
Mhm.
Banyak soalan Dr. Nisa hari ni. May I know how many students in the class? It is possible to implement this to 100 plus students. Is there any tips or suggestion to get 100 students to be engaged during the session? This is similar question from me as well, Dr. Nurul, because just now you mentioned, if I'm not mistaken, your student is around 30 students, right?
Correct.
And okay, is there any possibility for us to use for the huge class and with a many number of students?
Okay, honestly, I never have done before in the very large scale class. Okay, so the large I could be like 49, 50 students only. Okay, however, for large scale, like hundreds, okay, so that would be very challenge. Okay, I think one instructor not enough. for one class to cater with hundreds, okay? But what I may suggest that maybe if we want, if you want to do with 100 student, maybe we have to group it into one group, maybe 10 student, so you can just cater with 10 group. So maybe one group larger students, so that you don't have to go many groups, just let's say 100, so 10 students in a group, so you just have to go with 10 groups only. So I think that is the best idea that I can give. Or maybe you can separate, so 50 students for this class active learning activities, and the others and that 50, the other remaining 50 student next class for active learning activities, but you give that 51st student maybe asynchronous activities, and so on, like that. Maybe you flip the activities. Boleh juga buat macam tu.
To separate them into group, right?
Yes.
Another question from Associate Professor Dr. Ashley. What is your class size? Okay, just now you mentioned that 30, right? Do all your learners equipped with digital device? How is your connectivity at your learning environment? What is your participation rate among the learners? Is CLO improvement as an evidence? Do it mean your assessment are identical?
So maybe I will read the question.
Okay,
All right.
there are many questions.
All right.
You
So
want-
Dr. Ashley, isn't it? No. Dr.
Yes.
Ashley. All right.
Dr.
Okay. So
Ashley,
what
yes.
is my class size as 50, the maximum? Okay. So do all your learners equipped with digital device? Yes. Okay. For any learning activities that I plan to do in the class, I will equip with the so they need the digital device, and also they need to access to that certain platform. Okay, but for some class that just a normal lecture and discussion, no need to use digital device. Okay, so how is your connectivity at your learning environment? So for me, okay, so my connectivity is when they do when I ask them to write on a paper or on a Jamboard, okay, so I will go from group to group, okay, to see to have a like 2 hours class. Just now I asked them to write down in 20 minutes, so I have plenty of time to go through from group to group to see, okay, whether there is a free rider student just sitting there without discuss, just to make sure that, okay, so I will go try my best to cope with group to all groups. Okay, what is your participation rate among the learner? Okay, so I might say 99%. Okay, so because I have already mentioned to them earlier, okay, so during my class, so this is what I'm going to do, so this is the timeline, and I'm expecting that all of you will participate, so they will feel they will gain the responsibility. Okay, so they will feel responsible, okay, to themselves and to their team member as well. Okay, 1%, that the 1% student is like a very challenged student. Okay, so I think we have that kind of student everywhere. Okay, so CLO improvement as evidence, correct? Yes. Do it mean that your assessment are identical? A different method. So it's like the CLO improve. Okay, the significant improvement is because of the method. Okay, so the teaching method that I compared previously was from the past method, which is conventional lecture, traditional lecture, just go lecture and then exam. Okay, no active learning activities in the classroom, but after that I try to apply some of active learning activities several times. Okay, so the CLO improved. I hope I answer your question, Dr. Ashley.
Okay, later perhaps Dr. Ashley can give us the response. Okay,
Can
there
I-
is
can I-
another question.
can
Yes,
I
Dr.
just-
Ashley. Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Mazlina. Dr. Azila, the last bit regarding the CLO improvement, that's excellent. No, you can see the improvement is very obvious. But correct me if I'm wrong. This is actually gauged by students achieving the CLO is based on the assessment where they passed or mark maybe 50%. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the assessment, thank you, Dr. Ashley. Thank you for clearing this up. Correct. So the assessment is the same. So they have official assessment, quizzes, tests, final exam, assignments. Okay, the same assessment, but teaching and learning method in the classroom is different. Am I answering your question, Dr.
Yeah,
Ashley?
okay, fine.
All right. All right. Thank you, Doctor.
The activity in class is more on obtaining the understanding, right, of the
Correct.
student towards the unit, towards the what we call towards the knowledge, right? Related to the
Doctor.
unit, learning unit, right? Okay, all right. So thank you, Dr. Ashley, for the question. There is another question from Dr. Dayang Nisa as well. How about the assessment for the quizzes and reflection in the apps? It is formative or summative? And how many students in one group is advisable?
All right. So Dr. Dayang also asked, can we have your slide today?
Yes.
I will share with Dr. Dayang Azra. Okay, later. All right. Okay. So Dr. Dayang, how about the assessment for the quizzes and reflection in the apps? Okay. Does it formative or summative? Okay. So it is a formative assessment. Okay. So some of the assessment, if I think that it is a serious topic, okay, that requires students to fully concentrate and I want them to understand solidly on the topic, so I will take the mark from that assessment. Like today we have N quiz. Okay, that N quiz actually I will take 3%, okay, for your quiz. Okay, sometimes I do like that. Okay, so how many students in one group is advisable? Okay, to me, if you have large, if I have like my class, like maybe 48 to 50 students, so one group maybe 3 to 4, just nice. 3 to 4, just nice, because not too many, because if too many, actually the challenge is they will keep topping, not about the topic. So make it 5 also good. I think 3 to 5 is good enough for us to control and for them to control themselves, not to talk beyond the topic.
Right, Doctor. From Dr. Azra, she asked you, how about the performance toward the end of the course when you are using all the active learning participation with the students?
So like I have shown you, so the performance is clearly when the student engage. Okay, so from indirect assessment, they are happy, student happy with the reflection and so on. For direct assessment, we can see a very, for example, like we have certain course learning outcome, right? So like for CLO1, so usually on the fundamental theoretical, so I may see a very significant improvement, especially in the CLO related to the theoretical part. So they require them to read, memorize, understand. So how do we make sure this? We apply it in the classroom.
All right. I have my own question as well, Doctor.
Yeah, sure, Doctor.
Yes, as a human, as when we are even we are instructors, educators, as a human, sometimes we have like up and down motivation, right? In
Yes.
engaging with the students. So perhaps you can provide with us any tips for the instructors to keep consistent to engage and connect to the students in the classroom.
Yes,
Especially right now, the students have their own characters since they are Gen Z and then they are Alpha generation right now, right? So do you have any tip for us?
Yeah, like I said, the students are like our children, right? So they have different student, different behavior, different character, and from different mold as well. So different mold, so we have many kind of character. Foreign student, some more. So yeah, I believe everyone understands. So what we can do is, to me, okay, to me, what I always receive comment from students, so they feel guilty if they don't participate, or they do not perform in the subject, because they have seen me have put my very much effort, okay, to make sure they understand, to plan the class lesson plan, not for me. I already graduated, for yourself. So they feel, so actually indirectly they feel guilty if they didn't participate. Okay. So if they really like keras hati, so that is beyond our control. But mostly they feel appreciate. Okay, why? Because doctor has done this much. Okay, for them to understand on the topic, to excel on the subject also.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nurul. So means,
Mhm.
yeah, like our effort to the
Yeah,
student will give them insightful, right?
correct, doctor.
And awareness to participate in the class. All right. Since you mentioned just now, we actually, as a instructor in the class, normally we will make early preparation, right?
Correct.
We are doing the lesson plan before we entering the class. So, do you think that any surprising element it is advisable or it is appropriate for us to use in our class? For instance, without informing the student, we come up with some kind of quizzes, we come up with any other activity and we count in our assessment. Do you think that element of surprise element is appropriate to use in our class, Doctor?
Yeah. So I always say to my student also, please expect the unexpected in my class. So they like, oh, doctor, really? There will be quiz next class? There will be quiz? I don't know. So actually, indirectly, I have developed their mental to be readily to mentally ready lah, to come to the class. But to me, sometimes to that okay, because the students not only come to our class, so they have many class, many assessment, many subjects. So we have to understand them also, like they are our client. Okay, so yeah, so sometimes okay, but not all the time.
So perhaps the small activity
Yes.
is okay, right, for us to do that. I think this is my last question to Dr. Nurul.
Sure.
How can we embed the active learning with students with the new technology, artificial intelligence right now? How can we embed?
Oh,
How can we
okay.
embed that?
All right. So honestly, um I have done once in master class, once only, okay, using ChatGPT, okay. So I think how can we embed is all right. So we give topics to them. Maybe we just give them a lecture, a lecture slide, okay, without additional topics, okay, and then they in the classroom, like to our class, so they bring their laptop, okay. So I tell them, okay, so rather than just using my slide, okay, my lecture slide, you can use ChatGPT if you want, okay, to actually add more points, okay, to your Jamboard. I have done that, but for master class. For undergraduate class, I never done that before. So to me, it helps for certain point. Okay. However, don't what I see the disadvantage. Okay, they may get a bombastic answers from ChatGPT. Correct. I believe everyone have done that. Okay. However, how they really understand how they really understand and memorize and actually apply the answer from the ChatGPT. So that is the I think the challenge. Okay, so they may get a bombastic idea, answers. However, how they make it in their own word and in their own understanding. So that would be the challenge to me. And for other lecturer also who actually use AI, okay, it would be helpful for the class, right? Code related to coding. So I think it helps also for some lecturer who teach coding, like C programming. They said that it helps also sometimes.
Okay, is there any other questions from participant? Perhaps 1 or 2 questions? No? If you have no question, I would like to conclude our workshop today, Dr. Nurul.
All right.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nurul, for insightful and informative sharing. So I really hope that all the participants, all the educators, all the instructors are able to implement the active learning activities that shared by Dr. Nurul. And then I think how the way Dr. Nurul plan the lesson plan is very beneficial and very useful for us in order for us to plan our own course for the next semester. And I really hope today's session are providing a valuable and benefits, especially in the teaching and learning for this coming new semester. So I would like to announce the upcoming workshop in 13th of March 2024 entitled Empowering Change Makers, a workshop on SDG driven project design. 10 a.m. until 12 p.m. Via WebEx platform. So by then, thank you very much, Dr. Nurul. Thank you very much to all participants for your attention and your attendance for today. So I would like to ask Dr. Azra to show the QR attendance. Thank you, Dr. Nurul, for
Right.
your sharing today. So perhaps you will share the notes with Dr. Dayang later on. Thank you very
Right.
much, Dr. Nurul. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And selamat berpuasa kepada Dr. Nurul and to all the Muslims friends. Thank you very much.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you. Thank you very much, Calm. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Unimas.
Thank
Assalamualaikum.
you. Welcome. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi